So I just checked into my hotel room at Bahrain. I am here to go do a plane wreck dive. The first dive of its kind ever. This is a Boeing 747 that was specifically sunk here in Bahrain to make a dive site and to create the world's first underwater theme park that's going to be open. The rest of it a bit later on. It's still being built. There will be a coral reef habitat. There will be statues, about 100 statues, I believe. There will be a replica of a pearl diver's house and a few more shipwrecks as well. But the main attraction is the airplane that was sunk in June or July 2019. The park officially opened in September, and I'm here now at the end of November 2019. So we'll see what the wreck looks like. There's only a handful of scuba dive shops that are qualified by the government to take people on tours there. And I am going with one of those, of course. I'm excited. I am not a very experienced wreck diver. I've been on a few shipwrecks, never a plane. You can swim into the plane. It is being cut open and everything inside has been removed to make it safe for divers. And you could go into the cockpit. It is about 54 kilometers north of the island, so it will be a bit of a boat drive there. It is in about 20 meters of depth, and the plane itself is large. It is, I believe, 70 meters long, which makes it a very big dive site. I'm excited to see what kind of life has attracted to the plane, what kind of marine life is now calling it home. Because this was a plane where people sat and flew across the world, and now it's at the bottom of the ocean being a home for a lot of different fish. Anyway, here we go. Let's go see it.
So some reflection after today's dives. There were 2 dives. The first one was the 747 plane, and the second was the Al Boom wreck, which was possibly one of the funniest wrecks that I've ever been on. Just a giant pile of toilets that had yellow fish, just swarms of yellow fish going all around them, and nothing else. So it kind of looked like the fall when there's yellow leaves all over the floor, but imagine them being fish over a whole bunch of toilets. That was the second dive though, about 19 meters, not very deep. Visibility was about 3 to 4 meters, and I only went down for about half an hour before my buddy's air ran out. And that was probably on account of trying to catch and look at all the fish swimming around everywhere. That dive would have been a good first dive to do to gauge everybody's ability level and just generally get the group together, because the plane dive was a bit of a disaster. It was the what not to do of diving. So everybody, and that is a group of 9 people including myself, everybody lost their dive buddy on that dive. People surfaced where they shouldn't have surfaced. People swam without a buddy for a while. People lost the plane. People lost the mooring line. The dive master was nowhere to be found. It was a mess. And large part of it was due to lack of visibility, so 2 to 3 meters before everything starts fading away. So it would have definitely been good to have the dive master get the whole group together and lead us all. Though you can't really, I guess, do that parts of the plane, but most of it, yes, because it is large. That plane is massive. And for being in the ocean only about 5 months or so, it is completely covered in barnacles. Every inch of it is covered in barnacles. It was a good thing I didn't touch it. It was a good thing I had my wetsuit on, because that does cut skin open. There were some fish on it, not quite as many as the Al Boom wreck, but still quite a lot of angelfish, groupers, sea snakes we saw in and out. And you can go into the plane, you can go into the cockpit and take a picture in there and swim around, but it's mostly been stripped. Everything's just a big empty shell that you can swim in and out of, and makes for a good 40-45 minute dive. Would I go back there? No. Been there, done that, and I would like to come back and see the artist's garden, which is going to be about 100 statues all sunk underwater by different artists, all put together in one place, kind of congregating an artist's army down there. There's going to be coral reef restoration habitats. There's going to be a replica of a pearl diver's house, and a few other things, a few other wrecks. But the plane is done. I'm glad I did it. I would definitely recommend doing the plane, because just of the novelty factor, it is a cool dive. But at the end of the day, I think the takeaway lesson is stay fresh on your skills, because you're not going to be able to rely on anyone else except yourself when time comes for it. So you have to know what you're doing. Have a dive computer. If you're going to buy anything, buy a dive computer, because that will tell you your safety stops. It'll tell you how long you've been down there. It'll tell you all the essentials. So don't skimp out on that. And happy diving.